All right, picture this. You're on a safari, birds chirping, sun overhead, maybe even humming a little tune, and then a group of primates shows up. Not just any primates, these are the ones that could turn your peaceful walk into a full-blown crime scene. Yeah, that happened. We usually think of monkeys and apes as cute, cuddly, and kind of goofy, banana-eating, swinging from branches types. But let's get one thing straight. Some of these guys are walking, chattering, tooth and claw assassins. They attack not for fun, not even always for food, but to kill. And we're talking serious, organized, we'll plan your demise kind of attacks. From chimpanzee mobs that patrol like neighborhood vigilantes, to baboons that could give your worst street gang a run for their money. These primates have perfected the art of lethal aggression. And no, it's not just modern urban legends. This is backed by fossil evidence, field studies, and yes, a healthy dose of holy crap, they really did that. So buckle up. We're diving into the world of primates who play hard, bite harder, and make you rethink just how cute a jungle full of monkeys really is. By the end of this, you'll never look at a primate the same way again. Some of them are basically nature's little murder squads. And honestly, you might want to keep your distance. When you think of chimpanzees, you probably picture something out of Planet of the Apes, or maybe a cute YouTube clip of a chimp waving at the camera. Adorable, right? Wrong. Chimpanzees are basically the tactical gangsters of the primate world, and their idea of a casual stroll through the forest often involves plotting your murder. Or at least someone else's. Take the Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania. Jane Goodall spent decades observing these primates, and what she documented wasn't just social squabbling. No, some chimp communities engaged in what can only be described as lethal raids. They'd patrol the edges of their territory like medieval knights on a mission, ambushing lone males from rival groups, biting and clubbing them until death. It was organized, premeditated, and disturbingly efficient. Not ideal if you were that unfortunate outsider. These attacks aren't random either. Chimps select their targets carefully. Weaker males, those isolated from the safety of the troop, and occasionally, smaller primates unlucky enough to wander into the path of a hungry gang. And it's not subtle. Bones show clear bite marks, fractures, and punctures that line up perfectly with their 2.5-inch canine teeth. Think about that. Those teeth aren't just for showing off your pearly whites. They're basically machetes. And let's not forget the domestic drama. Male chimpanzees maintain strict hierarchies, and when someone challenges the alpha, it often ends in severe injury or death. The alpha doesn't just grunt. He orchestrates, coordinates, and punishes. It's like a neighborhood watch. If the neighborhood watch had teeth, muscles, and a grudge that spans years. So yeah, when a chimpanzee group rolls through, it's less about swinging from trees and more about, let's make a statement. Bones found in the wild tell the story. Fractured skulls, missing limbs, and clear signs of strategic attacks. In the chimp world, social climbing isn't just politics, it's survival. And sometimes, survival is a little permanent. Chimpanzees. Cute? Sure, in the distance. Deadly? Absolutely. And if you happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, you'll learn that firsthand. Who'd have thought the cuddly cousin of humans could moonlight as a forest assassin? If chimpanzees are tactical gangsters, baboons are the brawlers you definitely don't want to meet in a dark alley, or in their case, a sun-baked savanna. These guys are like the street fighters of the primate world, loud, aggressive, and ridiculously well-coordinated when it comes to a full-blown assault. And unlike some of their ape cousins, baboons don't always wait for a perfect ambush. They'll throw down in broad daylight, in front of witnesses, just to prove a point. Baboons live in large troops, sometimes dozens strong, and when trouble comes, it comes with numbers. They can swarm, chase, and relentlessly bite with jaws strong enough to crush bones. And yes, humans aren't exempt from their wrath. Farmers in Africa often report livestock being mauled, gardens being raided, and in extreme cases, attacks on people themselves. Those big, sharp canines aren't just for show. They're nature's warning sign in fluorescent neon. Back off, or else. Take the infamous cases in Kenya, where a troop of baboons coordinated a raid on a village chicken coop. It wasn't chaos. It was precision. Scouts would alert the rest, the alpha male would signal the attack, and in minutes, the mission was complete. Chickens were gone, and anyone brave or foolish enough to interfere got teeth marks to remember. Think of it like a live-action version of The Fast and the Furious, but with more fur and less dialogue. Baboons also have a curious habit of going after predators when necessary. Leopard, eagle, or hyena, if a predator threatens the troop, baboons will mob with terrifying coordination. They scream, bite, and leap, effectively turning the tables. There's documented evidence of baboons injuring or even killing predators much larger than themselves. Imagine a 70-pound primate squad taking on a predator like it's a game of capture the flag. Yeah, not ideal if you're the leopard. Their social dynamics make them deadly even from within. Alpha males maintain dominance through intimidation, fights, and sometimes lethal enforcement of troop hierarchy. Challenging the wrong baboon? That's basically signing up for a serious dental appointment with steel-plated teeth. Fossil and observational evidence shows that baboons have been doing this for millions of years, evolving larger jaws and sharper teeth in response to both predators and rivals. Survival here isn't just about eating. It's about enforcing your rule with teeth, fists, and a loud, terrifying howl. So, while they may look like the colorful extras in your jungle documentary, baboons are anything but background noise. They're aggressive, ruthless, and ridiculously clever when it comes to organized violence. Encountering one isn't a cute monkey moment. It's more like standing in the wrong place when a furry SWAT team decides to make an example. Mandrills. Just saying the name might make you imagine a rainbow-colored, slightly goofy monkey grinning at you from a branch. Adorable, right? Wrong. Those vibrant faces and neon rumps? Nature's camouflage for "don't mess with me unless you want your day ruined." Beneath that psychedelic exterior lies a primate capable of some seriously lethal behavior. These guys aren't just pretty. They're built like tiny tanks. Adult males can weigh over 77 pounds. That's a dense, muscular package of pure aggression, and come equipped with massive canine teeth that curve like sabers. Those teeth aren't for show. They're weapons designed for ripping rivals apart during fights over mates, territory, or troop hierarchy. One flash of those pearly daggers and suddenly your idea of a cute forest friend is officially cancelled. Mandrills live in massive chaotic groups called hordes, sometimes numbering in the hundreds. That's a lot of muscle, a lot of teeth, and a lot of potential bad days for anyone foolish enough to get in their way. When conflict erupts, it's violent and unrelenting. Males will bite, punch, and chase until the loser either submits or becomes a permanent casualty. Fossil records and observational studies back this up. Skull fractures, puncture wounds, and jaw damage all line up perfectly with mandrill-style combat. Evolution apparently decided flashy coloring plus lethal weaponry equals pretty but deadly. And it's not just intra-species drama. Mandrills have been known to intimidate other primates and small predators when threatened. Their roar-like vocalizations echo through the forest, signaling to anyone nearby that messing with this colorful gang is a terrible idea. Picture a 75-pound primate squad with glowing faces charging at you like a tiny rainbow apocalypse. Not ideal. Despite their shocking aggression, mandrills maintain strict social hierarchies, which means fights aren't random. They're calculated. Younger males test boundaries, older males enforce them, and all the while the troop witnesses, learns, and adapts. Essentially, it's a living, breathing, multicolored war school. And yes, humans are sometimes collateral damage if they wander into the wrong territory or attract the attention of a particularly irritable alpha. So next time you think a mandrill is just a flashy party animal of the jungle, remember, beauty doesn't equal harmless. That neon face, that's a warning sign. Those teeth, nature's way of saying, back off or regret it. Who'd have thought a creature looking like it belongs in a children's storybook could moonlight as a forest-level assassin? Gorillas, the ultimate paradox. On one hand, they're the peaceful, chest-beating vegetarians you've seen in documentaries, lounging around, munching on leaves, or giving a curious glance to tourists. On the other hand, well, they're basically mobile, muscular wrecking balls with enough raw strength to turn your bad day into a historical footnote. Usually chill, yes, but push them, annoy them, or threaten their troop, and suddenly it's like meeting a furry tank with a vendetta. Let's break it down. Adult males, the silverbacks, can weigh over 400 pounds, packed with muscle, and possess arms longer than some humans are tall. A gorilla punch isn't like getting slapped. It's like being hit by a small car. Bone-crushing, Absolutely. Fatal if the timing, angle, and sheer force align just wrong. And their bites? Massive jaws capable of exerting 1,300 pounds of pressure. For context, that's roughly twice what an adult lion can do. So yeah, that banana-eating cousin of the chimp looks friendly until you see that bite. Most gorilla attacks aren't predatory, they're defensive. Protecting the troop, the young, or territory can trigger explosive aggression. There are documented cases where humans who got too close were charged, thrown, or bitten. Unlike baboons or mandrills, gorillas don't always operate in packs for lethal attacks. Instead, it's a controlled, calculated show of dominance. The silverback decides who lives to stay in the territory, who gets a warning, and who gets the full-force gorilla treatment. Fossil evidence backs this up. Fractures on long bones and skulls from ancestral gorillas suggest that combat, even intraspecies, has always been part of their lifestyle. Interestingly, gorillas also display strategic aggression. They may bluff first, chest beating, stomping, vocal displays, hoping to scare off intruders without physical contact. If that fails, though, all bets are off. You can almost see the thought process. I warned you, and now, welcome to the jungle gym of pain. Modern observations reinforce this. A silverback protecting his family doesn't hesitate, and the outcome can be catastrophic for anything foolish enough to challenge him. So yes, gorillas are usually gentle, intelligent, and curious. But misjudge them, and you're facing an animal that can end a confrontation before you've even had time to say oops. Think of it like a friendly bouncer at the club, usually calm, mostly polite, but capable of throwing you through the wall if you cross the line. Who would have guessed that the largest, gentlest-looking primates can pack a lethal punch rivaling some of the fiercest predators? Not many. When people think of deadly primates, they usually picture chimps, baboons, mandrills, or gorillas. Rarely do their minds wander to the smaller, seemingly innocuous members of the primate world, the ones that look like a fluffy snack you could pick up and cuddle. But don't be fooled. Even the tiniest monkeys can turn into little engines of chaos when survival, territory, or reproduction is on the line. Take Sakis, for example. These South American monkeys may weigh only around 3 to 5 pounds, but their teeth are disproportionately large, razor-sharp, and capable of inflicting serious damage. Saki troops are territorial, and males won't hesitate to defend their patch of rainforest with bites, lunges, and relentless chases. Bones of rival monkeys and small mammals recovered in their habitats show clear signs of trauma. Broken jaws, punctured skulls, even dismemberment in some extreme cases. Yeah, small and fluffy, but also nature's reminder that size doesn't equal harmless. Then there are howler monkeys, notorious for their terrifyingly loud calls. Sure, you can hear them echoing across the forest like a foghorn on steroids, but the volume isn't just for show, it's a warning. Howlers are fiercely territorial, and when two troops collide, it can escalate into vicious confrontations. Their powerful jaws and sharp teeth allow them to bite through opponents and defend feeding areas. Fossil evidence and contemporary field studies show that these aggressive behaviors have deep evolutionary roots, evolving over millions of years to maintain dominance and access to resources. Even some of the smaller New World monkeys, like the titi or capuchin, have been observed in orchestrated mob attacks on intruders, displaying tactical awareness and group coordination surprisingly reminiscent of their larger cousins. A troop of capuchins, for example, can harass a predator or competitor long enough to inflict real damage, using a combination of bites, scratches, and relentless persistence. Tiny, fluffy, and yet terrifyingly effective. What makes these lesser-known primates deadly isn't just anatomy. It's behavior, strategy, and social intelligence. They don't go around killing for fun, but when push comes to shove, their efficiency is brutal. Fossil records back this up. Fractured bones, bite marks, and skeletal trauma indicate that even small primates have been playing the lethal game for millions of years. So next time you see a tiny monkey chattering from the treetops, don't let its size or fluffy appearance fool you. In the primate world, even the cute ones carry a punch, a bite, and a reminder that survival isn't about looking adorable. It's about being ruthless when the situation calls for it. Tiny, colorful, and lethal. Who knew? At this point, you might be thinking, okay, sure, primates can be terrifying, but why does it matter? Well, it matters because understanding their aggression gives us a window into evolution, survival strategies, and even a little uncomfortable insight into ourselves. Yep, humans. We like to imagine ourselves as civilized, thinking violence is something we learned from society, not biology. But millions of years of primate behavior tell a different story. Primates don't kill on a whim. They kill to survive, to protect, or to assert dominance. Territory, food, mates. These are the currencies that determine who lives and who dies in the forest. Fossil records and skeletal evidence show patterns of trauma consistent with aggressive behaviors, from chimpanzees in Africa to mandrills and baboons in other parts of the world. Broken skulls, puncture wounds, and fractures are not just isolated accidents. They're historical records of strategic, sometimes lethal confrontations. Nature keeps receipts, basically. Even behavior today mirrors what fossils suggest. Aggression isn't chaotic. It's coordinated, socially mediated, and incredibly tactical. Chimps organize raids. Baboons swarm with military-like precision. Mandrills defend territory with jaw-sawing authority. Gorillas strategically bluff, then deliver fatal strikes if necessary. And the cute, smaller primates? They may not look lethal, but their teeth and social coordination tell a story of survival built on intimidation and occasional violence. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about primates being scary. Studying these behaviors informs conservation, human-wildlife conflict management, and even our understanding of evolutionary psychology. Observing how primates handle threats, hierarchy, and resource competition can illuminate why aggression evolved as a survival tool, and why it's not limited to the animal kingdom. Some researchers even argue that human tendencies toward organized aggression, territorial disputes, and strategic conflict have deep roots in these primate lineages. Who'd have thought your neighborly feud might have echoes of a chimpanzee raid from thousands of years ago? So yeah, violence in primates isn't a quirky side note. It's central to their survival, shaping their social structures, behaviors, and even their evolutionary trajectory. Next time someone says, "Monkeys are cute," you can nod, smile, and quietly remember the hundreds of pounds of muscle, razor teeth, and centuries of lethal strategy lurking behind those innocent eyes. Here's the thing. We love to think humans are special, that violence is some modern invention, and that we've somehow outsmarted evolution. But let's be honest, watching chimpanzees coordinate lethal raids, baboons mob predators like furry vigilantes, or gorillas casually crush bones when provoked, it's hard not to see echoes of ourselves. And here's the truly controversial part. Human civilization didn't invent aggression. We inherited it. It's in our DNA, shaped over millions of years alongside our primate cousins who perfected the art of survival through strategic violence. Yeah, that happened. So, when you walk through a city and witness power struggles, territorial fights, or even heated arguments escalating too far, you're witnessing a story millions of years in the making. Chimps, baboons, mandrills, they weren't just building character, they were fine-tuning survival tactics. And us? Well, we've adapted the same instincts into boardrooms, politics, and street-level dominance contests. Not exactly a comforting thought, but fascinating, right? I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a close encounter with aggressive wildlife? Or even just someone showing their primate side in real life? Drop your story in the comments. I read everyone, and I genuinely reach out when someone shares an experience that makes me think, yep, that's exactly what a primate would do. Let's make this a conversation, not just a one-way lecture. We're connecting the dots between ancient survival instincts, fossil evidence, and the behaviors we still see today. Because the line between our world and the jungle isn't as wide as we like to believe. So, next time you see a cute monkey, or even a seemingly harmless human, remember, behind that smile could be millions of years of lethal strategy. Survival didn't come from being nice. And in nature, sometimes the cutest face hides the deadliest teeth. Who knew evolution could be so brutally stylish?